What is up, guys? Private Eye Russ here. Welcome to another episode of the Private Eye Russ Show. I'm your host, owner, operator, private investigation, and consulting firm. So anyway, it's 0 dark 30. I'm shooting this video before I got to head back out. I'm still working on a couple of cases all at the same time, but this is what we do. If you need a private investigator, all my links will be in the description below. Hit me up. privateeyeruss.com, russ@privateeyeruss.com. We will take care of you. All right, so let's get straight into this. It's going to be a short one, a reaction video. This gentleman, Black Scout Survival, is asking where the grave of Charlie Kirk is. So we're going to hear what he has to say, then we're going to react. Fair use, fair use, fair use.
One big question. It's on everybody's mind. We still don't know where Charlie Kirk is buried. No public record, no cemetery announcement. No cemetery's been named. Find a Grave also lists the gravesite as unknown. And that's not gossip. It's not clickbait. That is verifiable. Hanson Mortuary handled the arrangements in Phoenix, but every article says only laid to rest in the valley. Now, normally when a national figure passes, there's a gravesite, a public service, something for followers to go visit. Here, silence. Even Find a Grave, the site that tracks nearly every burial in the country, listed as unknown. That's our baseline. That's where the story starts, with missing ground truth, right?
Okay, so a little bit hyperbolic. I get it, clicks and likes and everything else, but I'm going to try to give add some clarity to this and why they would keep his gravesite secret. And I think it would be elementary. So he is a national figure. Tragic death. There's a lot of questions about it that I would have personally, but this one is not so questionable for me. I don't think there's a conspiracy about it. Considering the extremes in temperatures between people who absolutely loved and adored him and people who thought he was the worst human being on the face of the earth. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that's what people think one way or the other. I'm not passing judgment on anybody's belief one way or the other, but I'm just giving clarity about this particular thing and my own opinion based on my years as not just a licensed private investigator, but a person who has done a lot of executive protection work, as well as private security details and a lot of non-permissive environments. When you have someone that's that polarizing of a figure, the reasoning behind hiding the gravesite is about preserving the dignity of his gravesite. Now, on one half, you'll have people that will be just loading flowers up and everything else. On the other side, you'll have people that will be doing probably awful things. We've heard people say some really, really horrible things about the guy after he was murdered. And so there's that end of things. I'm sure the family, friends, and fans don't want to see a bunch of TikTok videos of a bunch of people defacing the man's grave, or even worse. I've seen cases where someone was really hated. It was in a different country, and people actually went to the gravesite, took down the headstone, and actually dug the man's remains up and did horrible things to his remains. And I won't go into detail about that. I'm sure I'll be kicked off of social media if I do. So I won't tell you that. This was in a foreign country. It was in a third world country I was working in. And we did get to see what happened, and it was horrifying. And so nobody wants to see that. Then you add in the factor that there are so many clashes right now in the United States of America, the political tension, the social issues, political issues, cultural issues, so many different things flying at each other at warp speed. If I could see his gravesite becoming a nexus point for that conflict. And I think in their wisdom, the people who were involved with his burial and his remains probably said, okay, this is probably the best thing to do. And I support that decision 100%. I think that is the best thing to do. I understand we live in a day and age where everybody thinks they have a right to know everything. This is not something everybody has a right to know. Now, me personally, I don't try to hide stuff. Everybody, thinks that because I'm a private investigator, I'm slinking around in the streets like a cockroach. I don't hide from anybody. I'm not hiding from anybody. I am who I am. I say what I say. If you like it, great. If you don't like it, that's great too. But they had to keep his gravesite secret. They absolutely had to. unless you wanted to post guard on his gravesite for who knows how long, there are people out there who would try to deface his gravesite. So, considering that, and considering the fact that vandalism would be a very, very big thing, grave robbing would be a huge, huge risk. And I'm sure there are people out there right now trying to find out where he's buried. And again, I've seen what happens when people really hate someone, and then like it's not enough that he's passed away, but he they wanted this guy dug up and defaced more. And so recently there was a thing in the hood, 20 years. The guy's been dead 20 years, and his ops, that's opposition for those of you from the George W. Bush community, his ops dynamited his grave. Like, think about this, guys. The guy's been dead for 20 years, and someone blew up his gravesite. And so this is the world we live in now. And so I think it was actually very wise. Black Scout Survival, great channel, good stuff. But in this one, I think he's gotten it a little bit wrong in kind of diving down the conspiracy theory, hole a little bit too deeply on this one. This one's actually pretty easy to see. And don't quote me, but I think I'm right. I think I'm right. I think he's wrong. I'm sure he thinks opposite. And I look at things from a very practical standpoint. Are some conspiracy theories proving to be correct? Yes, they have been. So if you look at Edward Snowden, when he talked about the mass surveillance and collection of data, he validated the words that people who had been saying for 20 years that the NSA was collecting all of our phone calls, text messages, and emails, and our location data. Well, guess what? Turns out they actually were. Everybody thought those guys were crazy. They were not. In this particular instance, this one is pretty. I mean, look, there's enough material for potential conspiracies with this particular case, especially with the 30-06 and hitting a soft target like your neck. I've seen 3 men shot with high-powered rifle rounds. This was overseas. 2 7.62 by 54R. That's equivalent to, say, a 308 or 7.62 by 51 on our side. The other one by 7.62 by 39 is an AK round. And all 3 cases, all 3 men were deceased. In one of those cases with a 7.62 by 54R, the man was pretty much, allergies. The man was pretty much decapitated, and the other one looked like someone took a giant ice cream scooper out of his neck and lower jaw. And so, look, it's unfortunate what happened to him, but I think that particular conspiracy about hiding his gravesite, there are some people saying that he hasn't really passed away. Like, we saw him pass away on video. A lot of people saw him pass away live and in person. So I don't think we can really doubt that. But yeah, the fear of, or the concern of grave robbing and vandalism, that's got to weigh heavily. So anyway, it's your boy Private Eye Russ. It's been a really, really quick video. I've got to get going. I will talk to you guys in the next one. I'm out. Oh, before you go, sorry. Please, while you're here, like, subscribe, share, comment in the comment section down below. I can cover some more current things, but this is not a current events news channel, but I will chime in on things that I have some, if I think I have worthwhile or valuable perspective to share with you guys. Anyway, I will talk to you guys in the next one. Bye.